Just listen to some good music for the soul. Allison Seaford, how's it going over there?
I'm good. How are you feeling, Chirag?
You know, I'm all right. You know, I have some moments of momentary brain fog. Okay. I thrive off of other people's energies, though. In this case, I'm like a vampire.
Hey, Angela.
Hey, Angela.
Now, I mean,
hey, Angela.
Absolution.
Who's talking about absolution?
I'll take some if anyone's giving it out.
I'll sign you up for that, right?
Don't worry, it's all part of
that
the
was
program.
part of the deal. You got to up your fees.
Let everyone go in here. Stacy Froelich.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
Hey, Stacy.
Hi, Stacy.
Everyone, I ran.
You made it.
You made it, but I can't breathe, but I made it.
Oh, look at that.
Jess.
Jess, hey, Jess.
Double Bush.
Oh, I
And
like
Jess,
that.
why so
sweatshirt.
serious?
I'm not serious.
I know you're not serious. Angela has like a very studious face.
Oh,
What's up?
what's up, Angela?
Yeah, why is she so serious, right, Stacy?
Never seen her so serious.
Yeah, what's your deal? Angela Swift. I don't even think she can hear us.
I'll text her.
We're gonna
Hey,
ask-
Haneen.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, David?
Doing just fine, thanks. Now that you're here, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Haneen is our secret agent board of directors, the one, the only. So Haneen, you and Butch need to connect. I know you guys are close. We just had our coaching call and we were talking about managing like operations and construction projects. And I said, well, you need to talk to Haneen. She's like the queen of concierge and project management.
Hi, Butch.
Hey, Haneen.
To join us.
Hello.
I will give everyone a couple minutes to get in. You know, real estate agents aren't known to be punctual.
I think we are known to be punctual.
Some of us. You're very punctual.
I'm extremely punctual. Wish I had a cocktail, but
I sent fruit, you know.
Very thoughtful, by the way.
Yes, very. Thank you.
You guys all know Parsa, Tracy. They're from, as I would call, Planet Long Island.
with friends.
Hey, Tracy.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hey,
How
Trace.
are
Hey,
you?
Parsa.
Good,
Hi
good.
there.
Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yes.
Lori from Colorado.
Yes, we can. Hi, guys. I'm just in the middle of a blizzard, so don't mind
Oh,
me.
no.
I had to go get something, and the blizzard just started, and I'm driving down the road. So if I look distracted, I am. Don't mind me.
Yeah, pay attention to the blizzard.
Yeah, we
Well,
don't need a casualty on our call, so please look forward. You know, I find that really funny in this whole Zoom era. They're like people calling me driving. I'm like, can I just call you on the phone? I don't need this on my conscience. All right, so we have a few more people that we are waiting for. Hold on, let's see. This is the part where my brain doesn't fully work.
Parsa has the listing going.
Oh, it's going. It's a daily conversation. I was actually going to call you a little later, but maybe in a couple days I'll give you a call. I might need some help.
Oh, yep. I warned you.
You did warn me, but it's all good. It's been an interesting take on it and tough to move. That particular peninsula is, you know, things are just very slow. It's the polar opposite of the rest of the market. So the rest of the world actually is trading, and except for there. So
Just takes one.
just takes one and a reasonable seller.
There he
Well,
is.
that you don't have.
Is that Matt Breitenbach pretending to be a dog? What's going on there?
going on? What's up?
No,
How are
that-
you?
There it is.
What's going on, everybody?
When I grow up, I'll tell you, when I grow up, I want hair like yours. That's what I want. Right, John? We need that hair.
Why are you picking on me?
What's up,
Your
John?
hair is like mine.
Hey, brother, how are you?
Good, man. Good.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, David, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Listen, I love the RD deals. They're so cookie cutter. They're easy.
David, your view looks the best behind you.
Does it? Okay, well, great. Glad to hear
Is
it.
it
I'd
real?
rather be looking at the
And
blizzard.
You like the gray blizzard I've got going on?
We closed the deal in New York.
Actually, the best view in this house, the person knows who, you know it's coming. It's actually, Tracy Clinton has the best view.
Not the second shrug.
Hey, Josh.
There's Josh. Hey, Josh.
What's up, guys? Happy to
What's
be
up,
here.
Boston?
So psyched to see you guys. Yeah,
Hey,
Angela,
Josh.
Chirag, I'm where I last saw you guys when we were here.
Oh, that fun club with the Quinn.
Yeah, the
I
record
love that
room.
place on Commonwealth, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, I'm gonna
There's
give
Andrea.
everyone
Hey,
one
Andrea.
more minute, and we have like a majority
Hey,
of
Ben.
people here, and we'll get started.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Moss.
Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm late to the party.
Hey, tell me it's nice in Florida. I'm flying down in a week and a half. Tell me it's nice
It's
and
nice.
warm.
We got into like the 30s this weekend.
I heard.
Crazy. Yeah.
We got into the negative zeros.
You could have got rich selling hoodies down there if you had some.
Could have been, yeah. I was worried about like the homeless population, honestly, because there's like so many of them now. I feel like, and like these guys don't know what's about to happen this weekend, or maybe they did.
All right, so I'm gonna kick this off and get started. I'm gonna go through kind of like the overview of all of this, and then I want time for us all to kind of just start connecting. You know, it's truly special when you're able to bring people together who all operate at such a high level, but also genuinely care about people, right? There's a lot to be said about the givers, the sharers, the contributors in the world, and that's what I think of everyone here, right? There's not a person on this call that I know if I got a phone call from somebody else wouldn't want to help me. And I believe that's when really magic happens, right? There's this concept of collaborative learning that I've really been obsessed about. And if you're on our group coaching calls, I talk about them every day. And it's like, how do you really effectively take a group of people and take everyone's brain and merge them into one super brain, right? Like, I think like as a kid, like I looked at Captain Planet, it's like earth, fire, wind, water, you put them together, it's Captain Planet, right? And I look at this group in business as very much the same, right? If you have a loud background, I'm going to mute you. All right, there it is, Josh. So if you think about this, the journey that we're all going to go on together is going to be a lot of fun, right? If you know anything about me, I want everything to be fun like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and is my sole obsession. Inside this adult human that seems very well put together at times and very serious is a giant child that just wants everyone to have fun, right? And I know when things are going well in your business, they're organized, they're operationalized, and you have systems in place, and things are going in, as my buddy Ben would say, in flow, right? We can all have fun because we're earning the money we want and we could live more life. Those aren't just like random words for me. So when I look at this group, it is my sole purpose and opportunity with myself, David, and the rest of our team to create an experience for you that you can all multiply, right? Like this is a multiplier group. It's like, how do we take the $1 billion+ that we all collectively sold in real estate and take what we know and transport it into everyone's brain? I'm a week behind in full disclosure on my book that I wanted to make because I got COVID last week and it completely threw me off. I was lucky to put together a couple sentences, let alone do those sessions with Robert and the first 10 by 10. And some of you were on, it was a little bit shaky. I couldn't barely figure out how to share my screen in the beginning. But when the training part happens, I do show up because that part I do know. So that's kind of how this group works, right? This is not a lecture style program. As much as you all love me very much, you did not all come here to listen to me talk for an hour. That's not what this is all about. So our format that we want to do is 30 minutes of training, right? Then after that, It's 15 minutes. We're going to have an agent share 10 to 15 minutes on each session, because no matter what topic it is that we have, someone has already mastered it, right? And the fastest way to learn is to learn from what is already here. It's the concept of learning from reality. And then there'll be 15 minutes for a group discussion at the end of every topic, right? And the way that this is broken down is I'm going to teach a session. I'm going to have David introduce himself next, and he's going to teach a session. Then there's going to be peer groups, right? We're going to take everyone and break them up into small groups. And we're going to help you facilitate these discussions by giving you talking points and how to have these conversations. It's not rocket science to put people into groups. It's not rocket science to put people into a mastermind. Where the secret sauce is how do we get you guys to engage with each other? How do we get people to share with each other? That's really where the magic happens. And then the fourth session is all of your team members, right? I hear it all the time. If you could just train all my team members, like that would be great. So what we're going to do is we're going to send you a Google form, and we're going to have you guys pick the topics that you want your team members to work on and your staff members to work on. We purposely did not pick the topics because we want to do what's most helpful to you. As I said to a group that I did today in live prospecting, you can ask me about pretty much anything and I generally have an answer, right? So when it comes to training your team members, we want to hear what's most helpful for you, and then we'll put that training together both with ourselves and staff. And then there is the last part about this. It's called the vault, right? We are having a secondary NDA drawn up for the group, right? That everyone will have to sign. It is from, a Silicon Valley lawyer that does with the primarily, Haneen's smiling because she's working with me on this, that primarily does tech. I take the value and the proprietary nature of everyone's work very seriously here. Like, I know I worked with Fran on her book and how many hours that took to make, and she's happy to share it with people, but it should not be shared outside of this group, right? Like what we share, what we do here has to stay here. And that is the nature of this document, right? Like Stacy has all kinds of great stuff. If you've ever seen anything Matt has written, it looks like a mad scientist put like this 20-page document together, but it's very organized. It makes a lot of sense, and he's happy to share, right? Everyone has something to contribute here. Right? John Zimmerman has probably the most interesting non-compete agreement that I've ever seen out of anyone. And I'm sure he's happy to share it with everyone here. But what gets shared here has to stay here, right? It is the integrity of the group. This is people's years of work. It's thousands of dollars of money they've invested into it. It's the time they put into this. And people here have to be respectful of that. So the vault is going to be the best of everything that we have, right? I'm going to put all of our training in here. So we've also agreed that throughout this entire year, all of your team members will have access to all of our resources as well as our group coaching program, right? Because we want to create so much value for you here that not only are you growing, your team members are growing. So we will build by the end of next week, we'll have everything into our platform. We'll have a community platform where you guys can engage. All of our resources are there. The vault is there. So the way that the group is going to work is if you want a system in your business, someone has it built out here. I guarantee it. You shouldn't have to try to figure it out. And that's how this collaborative learning works. So if you see, we sent you a Google form that talked about like what systems you have built in your business. What do you want help with? Who are you as a person? We're going to be building that into a book, but you should literally be able to flip through a guide, like wanting to pick something off a menu and say, wow, like this person has this system built really well, or Ben has a really awesome operating manual. I need an operating manual. Let me connect with Ben and see what that's like. Right? And it should be as simple as that for all of us. And that's how we start becoming multipliers and speed up our learning. So just to be very clear, so this is on a recorded call, so everyone knows this. If I find out that if you're sharing stuff with one other person outside of this, you're getting kicked out of the group. You have to pay all the money and you'll be fucking blackballed from my coaching forever. Like, I don't care how much you're my friend. There's no plausible deniability here. People are really opening up here, and this is how these groups are going to work. So if somehow something gets leaked between all the people I know at Compass, I will find out who did it, right? And I'm going to kick you out. Like there's no second chances. There's no sharing things. Like if you want to share somebody else's work, then you could talk to them about it, right? You do not share this and say, hey, like don't share this with anyone. We're all parts of groups. We all network places. It is morally wrong to do that. If you want to share my stuff with people, I don't really care, right? Like that's fine, right? Like, but if you want to share another person's here, you can't do that, right? So, Josh, I got to drive this point home. You're not. It's not. Everyone needs to hear this. Josh just sent me a message that says, "Move on, we get it." Well, I want to be very clear about this, right? Setting expectations and standards are really important. So, before I go into the roadmap, I want to introduce you to someone that's very special to me. A lot of you have met David and some of you have not met David. David was actually my leadership coach and someone who I view as a mentor. I call David Yoda because David will often talk in questions. He'll get you to think, and he, in my mind, is one of the best coaches I've ever met in my life. So David, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chirag. Yeah, Chirag and I first met 5 years ago when he went through my leadership program. It's an almost year-long program where you spend an awful lot of time thinking about who you are, what you want to create in your life, why you want that, and how do you get there. And it was a great experience for him. It was great for me to have him in the class. And when he started this business back in 2020, he said, "Hey, David, come along with me on this. I know these people can really benefit from some of your stuff. So please join me in this." I said, "Great." So by way of introduction, I've been a coach for 17 years now. I work with a variety of companies around the world, many Fortune 500s. My biggest client has 350,000 employees. And I've worked with many, many startups and smaller companies as well. I do a lot of organization development work in my leadership work. So I like working with small businesses because when you make a shift there, you could change the whole trajectory of the business. I've worked with teams and individuals active in US, Europe, Middle East, East Asia, South America, all around the world. And I really enjoy learning something about how people interact and how people create success in their businesses in one part of the world and find that it can be applicable somewhere else. So all of my work primarily is focused on how do we create value with the other people in our lives? That is, how do we define value? How do we express or allow the value that's inherent in the relationships to come out? And we have that same opportunity right here. We have all these key relationships, and we all get to go into this wonderful experiment to say, how can we take the next year and create fantastic value for each of us and our teams? And so my work really focuses on how do we connect with other people? How do we influence them? Because I believe that everything that we experience in life that's a success for us is a result of how we connect and how we influence. And so my work primarily revolves around communication, listening, building relationships and culture. And all of that stuff applies here. For example, if the topic of the day is, let's say, onboarding, well, that's all about the culture of your organization. It's all about how you communicate with the new people, bringing them onto the team. It's how you understand what the world looks like from their point of view as they get integrated into the team. If the topic happens to be something like value propositions, there's a lot that goes into there, not just like having the specific wording of something, but understanding more fundamentally, who are you talking to? And what are they going to hear? And how can you speak to what they're able to hear in a way that the message lands? So everything that we'll be talking about, there's some way that I can perhaps, hopefully, add some kind of value in how you think about it. And having worked with many of you, it's been a delight so far to help you think about how you bring yourself to your work and how you build the teams. And I'm looking forward to working with everybody here.
Thank you, David. I want to share with you guys our roadmap. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about San Diego. Book any hotel you want, right? Like where this house is, it's 20 minutes from where most of the major hotels are. It is secluded. It is a gated house. I joke around, I call this not a retreat. I call this Deborah's Vacation Club because she's the one that found all this stuff. She's like, we're going to go to a cool house and get a private chef and it's going to be this intimate experience. I was like, are we doing a group or going on vacation? She said, just shut up and go with it, right? So like the house that we found is a 7,000 square foot gated house with unobstructed ocean views. So we're all going to get in Wednesday, try to get in earlier in the day if possible. We're going to take everyone out to a really nice dinner Wednesday night so we could all just kind of connect and just kind of catch up and like really get to know each other. So the next day when we meet, we're not strangers. Now, Thursday, we're going to be working with a woman by the name of Jennifer Hootie. If Jennifer Hootie has done all the marketing, copywriting for Strategic Coach, what's that bullet coffee? I can't think of it. Bulletproof Coffee. She's worked with Brendan Bouchard and most of the large influencers in the personal development space. She's the #1 copywriting expert and marketer in the entire world. I have some friends that are pretty big influencers, and I met her when I wanted to work on my messaging. And what he had said was, if money's no object, you go to Jen, right? And she's in one of those places you could write her 100 emails. If she doesn't know you, she doesn't like you, she's not going to work with you. Our team has worked with her over the last year, and she's agreed to be our speaker for the day. So on the first day of the retreat, we're going to really work with her and start talking about marketing and messaging, right? Like that is such an important thing in everything we do that's consumer facing, right? Then the next day, we're going to work with Agent Upgrade and their Kevin, who's worked with Facebook and a lot of large brands, and Sydney, who I think a lot of us on this call actually work with. And what I want to do the second day is we're all going to bring our marketing and we're going to actually look at it. And we're going to say, is there alignment in our messaging and the way we communicate? Right. So after you have a day with Jen to really start understanding this, thinking about it, thinking about how you're communicating with people, who your audience is, and really diving deep into that, the next day, I'm going to suggest you all print out a lot of this stuff, right? Because we're going to be breaking into groups. We're going to have other people there to help facilitate this discussion. And we're going to want to look at all of our marketing. I find most people never take the opportunity to do that. And when you start looking at things in a macro sense, it's amazing what happens. So Thursday night, we're going to have a private chef and an evening full of just hanging out and fun in the house, right? And the reason we picked the house is hotels are kind of like you meet, you break up, and everyone just goes back to their room. You know, everyone's going to meet at the house. We'll provide all your meals for you and everything, and we're all just going to hang out and get to really know each other. And then Friday, we'll work till about 4 o'clock. Some people, just let us know if you plan on staying Friday night, right? So if you plan on staying Friday night, obviously we'll plan a dinner and we'll all still get together and stay. And if some of you want to hang out on Saturday, let us know that as well so that we could plan accordingly. So that's the retreat in a nutshell. And the second retreat is called Vision, right? And we're going to plan it either November or December, most likely probably November, depending on when the Compass retreat is. And the whole concept of vision is, how do you plan your business and your life a year in advance? Where we'll go through budgeting, days off, goal setting, everything in a way. And I'm going to get a really, really good speaker to speak to this that can help us do like more executive style annual planning, as opposed to just kind of the way we do our real estate business plans. So those are the retreats in a nutshell. Does anyone have any questions?
I think you should expect for a few people to want to hang out for that extra Friday night. I'll probably plan to do so because I'm excited if I get a little extra time to connect with some of you guys. So
hang out. We have a cool house to host everybody in, and we just need to get a head count for a Friday night dinner. I would stay Friday and I would fly back Saturday, right? That would be my suggestion. If possible, people have families and commitments and everything, and I totally understand. So anyone else have any other questions? And then if not, we're going to go around and everyone should just start kind of introducing themselves. And I want this, when you introduce yourself, here's what I don't want you to do. Hi, my name is Chirag Shah. I'm from Westport, Connecticut. I have a team of 5 people. I'm really excited to be here. Like, please don't do that. Like, no, don't do that. Right? Like, introduce yourself, say a little bit about your business, but give someone something about you. And I would suggest people be vulnerable, right? Like, we all know it's great, but I find vulnerability creates a place to share and people to connect with each other in a way that sharing strengths always doesn't. So John Zimmerman, I'm going to do this in order. You're on the top left-hand side, so you can lead the way.
Okay, thanks. I'm excited to be here, I should say. But John Zimmerman, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. I've got a team of 4 agents, and then I've got support staff and great guys. I kind of have a habit of hiring young guys and then coaching them, usually like college athletes, so I can be reasonably firm, you know, and I kind of coach them up how I want them to do. There's a little bit of entropy in my systems, and I really want to get things drilled down, and I want to take it next level. We've been the #1 agent in Fort Worth for the last 9 years, but Need tons of room for improvement.
Thank you. So the next person on my list, Fran, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Fran Mazer from Long Island. I'm in the Woodbury office. So I have a kind of a little bit of a different team now. Hopefully we're getting more to what everybody else is doing, but I always had an assistant who was an agent and another agent that just really wanted to help on whatever my business was. So they would do open houses and they would just help me get my business done. And now with Chirag's help over the last 2 years, we have a manual, we have a team, we have 4 people, and hopefully we're going to grow it. I come from a completely different background. I was a designer for 25 years, and at 9/11, I decided I've traveled all over the country and I was like, and the world, and I was like, not doing it anymore. And I landed up in real estate after looking for my own house. So here I am, want to get my team bigger and better. And I'm happy to be working with all of you.
David, you're up. Butch.
Hey guys, I was just so excited that Jay-Z was in the house. I had to show up on the deal. I have a team of 5 people. And what else did you not want me to say? I'm kidding. No, Butch Hayes in San Francisco. And, you know, I've had a wild ride. I had a big team and then I had a business partner and it totally melted down. I always say life is one of those things, like if you don't make the decisions life tells you to make, life will do it for you and you might not like the timing. And so literally it all blew up in my face and I kind of had to come all the way back, reinvent myself. And again, it was kind of a long climb out of the hole, but I'm just really excited to share some ideas with you down in San Diego. I consider it a second home down there, and we're staying till Monday. So we're gonna hit the beach, grab the surfboard, and I can't wait to just hear all the fun things that you have to say. I've always wanted to meet Ben. We've talked on the phone a few times, and Matt I met early on through Jay-Z in one of the very first retreats. And anyway, I'll let you guys keep going.
You know, that was a good introduction. It all just blew up in my face. I like
Well,
it.
I do.
Allison.
Hi, Chirag. Hi, everybody. Allison Ziefert, and I have a team here in New Jersey. We're based in the Short Hills office, and we cover a lot of the towns about 30 to 45 minutes outside of New York City. So a lot of commuters or people that are leaving either Brooklyn, Manhattan, or Hoboken, Jersey City who want to move to the suburbs. We're close in. I have a all-female team, and people comments on that from time to time, not intentionally. It's just how it worked out. I did not start in real estate as a original career, but I was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years and was getting divorced and kind of always was doing things around the built environment. I've always loved architecture and I love communities and trying to make them better. So that's how I ended up in real estate, and it's grown. My business has grown a lot, but I have this disease that I always want to make it better and bigger and better and bigger. And I'm hoping that this group can kind of help me. I have 3 kids. One of them is a senior in high school. So this year I'm really trying to spend, she's my last one. I'm trying to spend as much time with her as I can. And I have a XXL giant 32-pound dachshund, Archie. I love to cook. And that's kind of me in a nutshell.
And you're a good mom and you drive your daughter to school every day.
I mostly do drive her to school every day.
Tracy, you're up.
There we go. Tracy Clinton, agent out of the Manhasset office. I'll say all the things Chirag said not to say. I do have a team. It's been a year at Compass, just had my first anniversary, loving the company so much. Chirag has helped me, or is still trying to help me with the transition from being the single agent that I was for 17 years But I love the opportunity to kind of work with all of you from across the country. I'm looking forward to the retreat. I kind of came from a girl when I was young that wanted to be an actress, which that kind of went a little bit by the wayside. Got into interior design. I worked many years after that in title company, and real estate was always in my blood. My dad was a banker and just kind of always was drawn to it. My favorite thing is negotiating. I love to negotiate the hell out of a deal, and love marketing. I live here in the North Shore. I have two 21-year-old about to graduate from college, and I have a son who's studying sports journalism, and looking forward to kind of making business better with all of you.
Stacey Froelich, you're up. And thank you for rearranging your schedule to be here, because we made a mistake.
Well, I'm so glad I did. So, hi everybody. I'm Stacey Froelich. I'm from New York City. I guess my claim to fame is that I was one of the first agents to join what was then Urban Compass in 2014. The very first uptown agent in New York City. And it's been quite a wild ride and very exciting, and so exciting to see where we have come. I live on the Upper East Side. I have two daughters, 17, also senior in high school, and 13. So I skip to work every day. And I have a Bernedoodle who's 4 today, and a husband. Forgot about him. So I've been in real estate for almost 21 years. Gordon Golub was my very first manager ever in 2001, which is how I came to Compass. So we're very good friends. And I think my biggest challenge is I love my team, but I hate managing. And obviously that's part of the gig. But I suck at it. I'm really good at leading, but I really am a terrible manager. I can't say no. I say yes to everything. And it really comes back to bite me. So I would love to learn from everybody to make the right decisions instead of just being trying to make everyone happy all the time.
Raise your hand if you can relate to that.
Fun.
See a lot of smiles. Jess, you're up next.
I can definitely relate to that. I'm Jess Sigmund. I'm from Westchester, and I moved back here from Toronto 5.5 years ago. Went through a kind of crappy divorce and didn't really know what to do with my life because I wasn't working when I was married. So I got a property manager job when I moved back here, making $15 an hour, and I hated it. Just like Chirag's private messaging me right now, I could barely sit still. So sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day was torture. But the property management taught me a lot about real estate, and I started getting into rentals, saw that there was a lot of potential in making a lot of money, but also in helping people because I went to school to be a social worker. So I got into real estate, and Chirag helped me get to Compass, and now I have a team of 7 and I love it. And I'm excited to be here with all of you guys. So thanks for having me.
There's a lot of kind souls on here, like that run teams that are like very much like social services, right? They're very charitable in nature and lots of giving hearts, and it really is a beautiful thing. So Parsi, you're up, my man.
All right, everyone. Really excited to be here. My name is Parsa Sami from Manhasset, New York, so Compass, Long Island. I was brought into the business by Miss Clinton right there. Tracy Clinton brought me I coached her 21-year-old daughter who's now playing at Amherst College. So I played professional tennis, and then I coached for 15, 16 years. And Tracy, sees me at night, wobbling around and being like, oh, complaining. And it's a very difficult gig physically. And she's one day was like, hey, you know what? You should come into real estate. So I was like, all right, I'll go for it. Use my coaching background and ability to ask powerful questions and do those kinds of things, and have put together quite an incredible business with her. And I would say my biggest fear is I never know what the next thing is going to be. So I just run if there's 25 hours possible in a day, I do it. which it's probably impossible, but somehow I managed to get it going. So I definitely look forward to learning from everybody on their paths, as I know where we want to go, where I want to go. And I look forward to seeing other people's journeys and, you know, how I can apply it to my own, as well as also sharing I know I have very good strengths, and I would love to share and help others also grow, because I think collaboration is the most important thing. And that's what's exciting about this group.
Haneen. Also known as Haneen Depot.
Oh. Hi, everyone. I'm Haneen Hader, and I live about in San Francisco's peninsula, which is like 10 miles south of the city. Let's see. I have 2 kids. I have a 16-year-old senior in high school. So all the senior moms, I feel your pain. I'm about to lose my mind waiting for another month of waiting for college acceptance to come out. And I have a 5-year-old kindergartner. So I have the worst of 2 ages. Let's see, I've been in business for 10 years. Came into real estate by accident. I used to be an engineer before that. So I have 2 engineering degrees that I no longer use. I think the main strength I have in my business is operations. I hate marketing, and Matt knows it. There's a day where I can come and visit Matt and do his operations for him to do my marketing, because I cannot do marketing for my life. And I do run kind of a construction business on the side, of building and flipping houses on the side. Anything that has to do with Compass Concierge, hit me up, because I've known how to use Compass's money even now at this point for buyers. You know, I'm very happy to share how we can brainstorm to get anything that is construction or remodeling or even operation related for businesses. All the help I need marketing help. And I don't like talking to people. So that's another thing that that is not, I don't like talking to people in general.
You know, what's
But
really
somehow
fun,
I managed to build a business.
and she's the first person, if you call for help, she'll talk to you. That's the irony in all of this. So the nice part is, I want everyone to take a note. I call her Haneen Depot because she literally manages projects. She fronts her own money. She orders cabinets, does the design, has discounts at a lot of like the major designer places and everything else like that. Is one of the most fascinating things. So we could do a whole session on how she does that for her clients. So
And if you're ever building a house, hit me up. I can probably save you $200,000 easily.
There you go. So that's something to note for everyone that has construction stuff. Megan, I believe you're on here. You and Haneen, I know, have been emailing to connect. So Matt, you're up, buddy. You never know what Matt's going to say. He'll come out of left field with something here.
Yeah, you never know. I could start going, we'll end up on a different topic. So my name is Matt Breitenbach. I know a lot of you guys. I'm excited to meet it, grow with you guys in this program. Chirag, he's one of the few coaches you could text at 5 o'clock in the morning, like him and I text, and we're sending gangster rap lyrics back and forth. So that's a unique thing about him that I love. But I'm happy to be here. I'm in the Hamptons. I'm second generation broker, born and raised by a broker. My mother, I grew up in and around the business. My dad's a builder. Just grew up on job sites with him, just around the business my whole life. I'm one of a couple siblings. I'm the only one that's stuck around and stuck in this business. And I originally got in this business, I always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and, just like you, I couldn't sit still. And I was like, oh, my buddies are moving to New York. And I'm like, I can't just go do that. And always wanted to build something and always wanted to build a company. And when I first got in real estate, I thought it'd be not in real estate. I just wanted to work with my mom and make some money and do it. But I fell in love with the business. And, it's been quite the journey. And I'm excited to share that journey with you guys and hear about your journey. And, my biggest pain point is pretty obvious. Like I'm great at growth. I'm great at offense. I'm great at, sales and marketing. it's that operational, it's that structure, it's that back end, it's that financial. You know, as I'm sitting here, I'm getting texts from my wife about when are we getting paid. So, you know, it's the same thing. You know, I've always I care about my business, and it's always been that cycle of putting money into my business and trying to grow it. And, you know, I'm trying to bring more stability. I have 3 kids, I have 3 daughters. I'm king of the girl dads, as I say. I love them dearly. And you know, being raised by a broker, I want to, you know, I know there's challenges. I relate with any parent on this Zoom, right? Like, it's a challenge as a parent, and I'm just trying to bring more stability in my life because I just want to be there for them, and I want to grow a stable family, and you know, also step into a higher role. I feel like as brokers, it's hard for us. Like, we just get caught in that wheel of the grind, and you know, it's time for evolvement. So, and I feel like Chirag is leading this movement, and I'm just excited. Anything, you know, he told me before he even finished the sentence, I'm like, I'm in, let's go. You know, not as fast as Jay-Z. I saw that when you asked him to come. He's like, I'm in, let's go. And I love that. And I'm just excited about this. And it's awesome.
Thank you. Lori, you're up. Oh, wait, you got to unmute yourself. There you go. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, do it again.
Unmute.
You're good.
Okay. Hi, I made it home through the blizzard, got to my house, tried to get off the camera as often as possible so you didn't have to see me parking and running in the house. But I am in Denver, Colorado. We are just getting a blizzard starting about right now. It's supposed to get about another foot for the next 24 hours. Just got home to my 3 dogs and was attacked on the way in. I've got a big business of my own. So I do probably 60% of what our full team numbers, and then I have a team of 20 total. I run the team a little bit differently. I kind of like, I think I forgot the name of the lady who said she doesn't say no to anybody. I just bring anybody on the team that wants to come on the team and try to help them as often as possible. But I'm a leader, but I am not one who has any systems. I think somebody earlier was talking about onboarding and how it kind of showcases your culture. If that is the case, that is a bad, I guess it doesn't look well for me, because I don't even know when someone onboards, and sometimes it takes 3 weeks to get things done. So I think I do a really, really good business, but I do everything through sheer energy and hard work. I literally have no systems. I do love marketing. I love people around me. I love having the kids on my team, and I always try to learn something from them. My dog obviously loves me right now. I'm not sure what's going on. I was gone too long. So again, I think there's things I do well. I really do a good job with marketing and with those types of things. I do a very poor job with systems, and I would so love to not be running around my entire life doing everything by the seat of my pants, but rather doing things proactively at the beginning of the day with some intention, because I can't imagine the level of success we could all have if I put that into my business and my team's business.
Thank you. You and Jess have to connect on your love for dogs. You guys are spirit soulmates. Andrea too. There's another one. Andrea, you're up. Another animal lover.
Another animal lover, but we just lost one, and I promise I don't know how many times I can go through this. I don't know. I don't know.
Don't cry on me today.
Yeah, we're down to 4 dogs and 6 horses, so I've got a while. But I'm Andrea Curran. I have a team here in Houston, Texas. Our average price point here is significantly lower than what a lot of you may be used to. So we do high volume. So one thing that I find is having to combat not chasing my tail and spinning in circles. I was an elementary and middle school teacher for 15 years. Running a team is very similar, and Chirag is having to teach me that these are not my students, so I can fire them. So, I keep trying to remediate them. You don't remediate adult real estate agents. So that's something that I hope to gain from you guys is learning to put my business first and my team before the team members when necessary. I think that we've made a lot of gains as far as systems and processes. since joining Compass about a year and a half ago, and I can't wait to see what I can learn from all of you.
Thank you. Ben, my man.
All right. Sorry for any background noise. I have some work being done in my house right now, like literally right outside the window. So great to be with you all. I know most of you already, and I'm excited to meet those of you in person that I haven't already had a chance to kind of spend time with. And it's an awesome group. So thank you, Chirag, and your whole team, and David for putting this together. So about me, I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I run our sports entertainment division. So I love, I think of myself as a jock when I wake up every morning. First thing I do is I'm out the door, like doing something physical, because I think, for me, I have a big, personal development interest, a lot of interest in cryptocurrencies, a lot of interest in exercise, a lot of interest in, I make my own granola I sprout my own buckwheat and make granola out of that. What else? I listen to podcasts at like double speed or 1.5 speed. So like on an average morning, I can listen to like 2 or 3 podcasts. I told Chirag he's got to listen to this book called The Big Leap. David, do you know it?
Yes, I've heard of it. I've not read it.
Awesome. I think everybody on this call would gain something from listen. It's on Audible, so you can listen to it. I told Chirag you can listen to it for like 3.5 hours on 1.5 speed. So that's like a morning, right? I love bluegrass music. I love going to concerts. That's like probably my favorite thing to do. And then obviously anytime I can spend with my family, love doing that. So yeah, those are a few things about me. Oh, and I think as far as my team, it kind of just grew because I had more business than I could handle. So I relate to, kind of what Lori said, I didn't have any structure. I just kind of assembled a few people. It was very loose. And then probably about a couple of years ago, I really started kind of trying to form a real team. Last year, I hired a director of operations, came up with I think we've got a really good operations manual. So I'm kind of building out things now, systems that I should have done like 10 years ago. But I think like Matt, I love just the relationships, like bringing in the business, focusing on those things, negotiation, and the rest, trying to move away from those things as much as possible. So I think we all share a similar story in some of those things, but I will be quiet after that.
You could find Ben meditating, being mindful, and he'll send me these podcasts every day. I'm like, how do you listen to these things? Right? Seems like, these things are like 4 hours long. He's like, no, you can listen to it at double speed. I'm like, it's crazy. So if you're into cryptocurrency, please talk to Ben. He knows more about it than any human I know. Scott, down south. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right. Well, yeah, sorry, I was delayed logging on. I was actually doing one of the things that I really enjoy doing, and that's hot yoga. It just happened to be, I had this one scheduled, and me and a buddy, actually a client, were meeting up to do hot yoga. I knew I'd be late, so thanks for allowing me to still jump in. Looks like we're just going down sort of like what our interests are. We're talking about our team and our journey to real estate.
No,
Okay.
So talk about who you are, your team, and like something vulnerable, right? Like, what are you looking to get? Where do you struggle?
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, so my team, me and Mike, we have a team. We're co-team leaders. We came on and joined Compass. We were a boutique with 2 offices in Charlotte, North Carolina. 25 of us came over, not everybody. There were 10 agents that we just felt were not going to be a good fit. So we came over as a team of 25. And since then we've added 13 and, but higher producing agents and agents and Chirag really helped us with this. We have a greater value proposition now. So we're able to bring quality agents in and not give away the farm, so to speak. So we're really, really happy about our, the trend that we're on and really not giving away the house, so to speak. We do also have an operations manager, Lori. She's really doing a fantastic job. We brought her on after the move. The person that was our office manager previously, we just didn't feel this was just too big for her and it's too much change. And she moved to Florida, so it was perfect timing to bring in someone new. My interests are, I have a road bike. I love to road bike. I love to do hot yoga. I love to spend time with my 2 girls, 17 and 14. I love to read. I'm definitely also a podcast junkie. And I'm also a self-improvement junkie. I'm always reading 3 or 4 books at any given time. on self-improvement and always trying to get better every day. Okay. And, what I enjoy most about real estate is building. I enjoy developing people. I feel like if there's anything I've invested in fairly successfully in my life is my investment in people, maybe even more so than real estate. But so vulnerability for me, I mean, honestly, I don't claim to have it figured out really in any capacity of my life, but so my vulnerability is, I've got a lot to learn.
Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna just jump around a little. I know a couple people have a couple hard stops. Jen Smira, where are you, Jen?
Oh, hi. Hold on. Let me turn my video on. Hi,
There
I'm in
we
my
go.
car
You made it.
and it's
All right.
dark. Let me see if I can turn a light on. My 10-year-old is at gymnastics, and so I get to sit in my car for an hour and a half and work. So hi, everybody. I'm Jen Smira. I'm in Washington, D.C. I have been with Compass. I was actually one of the first agents, 2014. Let's see. I have been in real estate for 14 years. I have a team of 17 agents. Last year we wrapped up around 281 million. What I love about this work is I love the people development aspect. I really love the team, and there's nothing that gets me more excited than helping them, crush their goals and buy second houses and third houses and, do all that stuff. That's what fills me up. And so there's two things that I really love, which is, the people development and then new business development. I think there are moments where I get tired. And I'm exploring other crypto mining. I've been exploring other things. I think, personally, in terms of my own personal development, I just want to be a great, mom, a great wife, great friend, and just be mindful of the time that I give to people. So I have space for my family. So I don't really know what else.
What's your vulnerability? Where do you struggle where people can help you in the group or just in general?
Where do I struggle? I think my problem is I have a severe growth mindset. So I need to find comfort in, being where I'm at. Does that make sense? So, I don't know. I think we'll learn. I'll learn about that. I'm not sure. They say you don't know what you don't know. I mean, I'm always eager to learn. I'm constantly trying to improve. I'm trying to get better. I love feedback. I love constructive criticism. I mean, I'm always striving to just do better.
I think you're in good company. I would call that, I think every single person on this call suffers from what I call addicted to next, right? Like no matter where you go, it's like, what's next, what's next, what's next, what's next. It's like, where's my real estate Picasso, I call it, right? It's the lines and the X, right? Where we start is where we finish, and most of our employees and agents are in between the lines, are very clear. All of us, no matter where this ends, we always want to know what's X, right? What's X? What's X? And even when the line goes further, then you want to know where the next X is. So that was a good share.
Yeah. Well, I'm also excited to meet all of you and just connect with all of you. I think this is such a great group, and what a great idea to put this group together. So thank you.
So for the people that just hopped on in San Diego, book your flight to come in Wednesday. Any hotel is 20 minutes away, so it doesn't matter where you really stay. Wednesday night, we're going out to dinner. Thursday morning, we'll get started. We have a keynote speaker. We have a chef coming to our house to cook us a fun dinner, and we'll have some evening activities planned. Friday, we'll be there till about 4 o'clock. If you want to stay for dinner, just let us know. And we're excited to see everyone in a month. We have a few more people to go. Josh Muncy.
And make me go after the #1 agent in DC. All right. I'm a daddy of a 6 and 8-year-old girl, married. I'm from Boston. I've been doing this gig for about 15 years. My goal last year was to sell 0 properties, and I sold 2, so I got pretty close. But I'd be happy to never do another open house, another showing, another listing appointment again. And so that's how I think the direction that I'm trying to take this team. What excites me is really thinking about growth. I like real estate a lot because of the entrepreneurial components of it, and thinking about like how we can shape this business. And there's so many different things that you can do with it and create. I've got way too many vulnerable things to mention. I've been through 2 operations managers. I got approached by a bunch of agents on the team this summer saying they wanted a 10% split increase across the board, and this, that, and the other. And 3 of my agents a few months ago all got pregnant within a month of each other. So I've had like a lot of stressful moments as of recently, and I got to give it up to Chirag, has been like a real rock for me in terms of helping me effectively navigate through all of these issues that came up. But I think that one thing that how I think about the business today that's very different than how I used to is like it's like still very much about the money, but it's very much about my time, and preserving and owning that time. And so in making business decisions, right, like there was a time when I would think about like, oh, I'm opportunistic in nature, right? Like if something is cool and can be great for the business, and let's explore that and do that. And so Chirag helped me to get through something. There was a great potential agent for the team, had new development business locked up, et cetera, that I almost hired a month ago. But I felt ultimately that would add there are components of her that would add stress to my life. And so I had to step back and think about like, is that something I want to fold in? And so I tend to think about my business a lot more like that than I used to. And very much intentional hiring as well. Like I am very focused on culture more so than ever before, and thinking like who I bring on the team, how will their impact ripple across everybody else on the team? How will that bring me happiness? How will they serve the clients, et cetera? So I love this job because it's become so much more interesting than bottom line and everything that we can do with our individual businesses. So, and lastly, like I am just so fired up to learn from each of you guys. Like I've been a part of other mastermind groups before, and there's nothing in the world that like we learn better from than each other. And so I just want to state anything that anybody needs. I'm a complete open book. I appreciate the NDA and all of that, but like, and I'm sure nobody will share, and I will share anything that I have. And I have a lot of growth to do that I'm going to lean on you guys for too. So that's it.
Angela, and then we'll finish up with Mike. Go ahead, Angela.
Hey guys. Well, first off, again, like everyone has said, thank you to Chirag. From the second I walked into the Compass office, he was right there for me. And there's no better person and now no better team of people that I'd rather share this journey with. And since coming to Compass, I can honestly say like life is continually to change. And it's because of the people at Compass, the philosophies, and having a coach like Chirag, I find myself pushing myself outside of my comfort zone and doing things that I never, ever thought possible. I will tell you that I now have a team. I'm in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is right outside of Westchester County, outside the Short Hills area. We're all the boroughs or the suburbs of New York City. I'm actually heading into New York City in about 20 minutes to take my son out for dinner. My youngest is 21, and I'm embarking on a new chapter, not only as an empty nester, but as of the end of next week as a divorced woman. So there's this new energy that I have to making sure I meet my numbers and I take care of my team. And like everybody else says, giving is probably other than being passionate, I'm a giver. And it's leaning on people like Chirag to balance that giving and the passion with my love of what I do, but to make it profitable, because you don't want to give away the shop. And I'm finding more and more these days, I want to do more mentoring with my team to have the kids, as I call them, grow and try to impart where I was 20 years ago when I started in the business, to grow not only my team, but to spend more time in my life, because as we all know, we don't know what's around the bend. So much like, you know, people like Josh and Matt and others and Ben have echoed, working on myself, I've embraced, thanks to all of you, journaling and meditation faithfully every single solitary morning, and embracing whatever change is happening. And I think this is what this group is doing for me. It is saying, throw out any preconceived notions of what can or can't be done. Everything is possible. And I'm a big believer that together we're stronger.
Thank you. Mike, bring us home.
Bring us home. I know we're limited time here, so I'm gonna keep it brief, running over, but just appreciate the opportunity to be around you guys. I think the world of this group. Several of you I know personally, Scott and I, and several we haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet. But Scott mentioned we're business partners, longtime friends, and basically brothers from a different mother. And you know, it's nice when you have a partnership and a business relationship that just synergizes, give you energy, and that we're doing this thing together. So it's not falling on one or the other shoulders. It's both equally. And, you know, I think that's what fires me up every day is looking in the eyes of our team and seeing how hungry they are and how much they want to grow and how much we've evolved from a brokerage to a team and that entire journey. Along the way, I have 4 kids and a puppy. So any given day is, you know, chaotic in my world. What you may not know about me is I used to be an ER nurse, believe it or not. I know now that you could see that, you could totally see Welcome to the Fuckers, right? That's me. So that was my life for a long time. And 18 years in the business, you know, I help most people around North Charlotte and Lake Norman area. So, you know, we've been growing like leaps and bounds, and just, I love this mastermind synergy and love, you know, talking with each one of you guys and learning and growing. I think that's what I'm about these days. I haven't figured it all out, and my shortcomings, my vulnerability, my Achilles heel is doing too much and saying yes and not having that kind of boundary of like, you know, healthy, selfish. So, you know, I'm trying to work on that. I used to, my word of the month is awaken. And I kind of want to follow, you know, I used to train jujitsu like 6 days a week. I don't do that anymore. I made it to a black belt level, used to compete, and, you know, I've just kind of fallen off the bandwagon with just life and family commitments. So I'm easing back into it with daytime classes and making some time for me too. But I think saying yes too often versus maybe to the wrong people, as opposed to focusing energy on the people that really covet the time and appreciate what we're bringing to the table. So I think that's what I want to work on, and anything that, you know, I can learn and grow for him, I'm all ears.
This is really interesting. He looks like such like a big, lovable guy who's a nurse. Mind you, jujitsu is like the most violent sport in the world. So black belt level and that's impressive. So look, I want to be mindful of everyone's time, and I'll have David and I share something as well, right? I think what makes us unique is I think everyone's different. Everyone has vulnerabilities. So, you know, I would say my biggest challenges is I would say that I'm always just want to keep going, and I can get so focused on my work, and I literally worry about everybody, right? Like I remember Stacy called me the other day and she's like, I really need to talk to you about, and I called her and I'm like, I don't know how not to show up for people, but on the same end of that, I always worry about like, am I being enough as a parent? Am I giving my kids enough time? Am I being a good husband? Right. And like, that is always like this balance that we all have, as I know they have parents, right? Matt and I spend a lot of time talking about this. It's like, you could turn your phone off, you could turn a light off, but this voice inside of you that wants to keep going, you're just like, fuck, how do I turn this off? Right. And like, I see everyone's face. Right. So that's really my challenge. Right. It's like, You know, Brendan Bouchard said this in one of his books. He's like, the guy almost died in a car accident. He said, if I died right now, he's like, did I live? Did I love? And did I matter? Right. And like, when you start thinking about your life through those contexts, it really changes the way you show up. So my vulnerability is like, am I really being enough? Right. And it's weird to say as you show up and you help people and you hear great things, but like, you show up today, you have to show up tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, right? And ultimately, what all of us do is a responsibility to ourselves, our family, and other people. And that voice and that thing can be a gift and a curse. So that's my thing to share with the group. David?
Thanks, Rag. My vulnerability is that I'm still learning the real estate world. It's new to me. I've worked with people all around the world in every kind of industry, from technology to banking to manufacturing to pharmaceuticals. And when Chirag said, hey, David, come along with me with this, you got to meet all these real estate agents. They're actually crazy and they're really different from everybody else in the world. And I'm like, come on, really? What are you talking about? He's right. I'm learning that. So I'm looking forward to continuing my own growth to try to understand all of you better and what the world looks like from where you sit. So I'm delighted to get to know each of you individually and continue my interest in cultural anthropology. You know, I look at people not just as like individual people, but as like expressions of humanity. And for me, that's really fascinating. And so that's why I liked having worked in many different fields, in many different parts of the world. So delighted to get to know all of you, and please open up to me and to each other as we go through this.
All right, everybody, here's our housekeeping. I realize I've never even shared the agenda. Do you guys want to stay on and kind of see what goes on each month? If you have to drop off, you can, but let me just share this quickly with everybody. That's a sign of a group discussion, right? They say the sign of a good meal is like you don't really talk. So in terms of February, what we're going to do is like our value proposition, right? I find it very interesting. Like, if you're on a team, generally speaking, like, you know, it's being offered. All of you were recruited to Compass, but if you didn't understand what their value was, you'd never show up. So most people don't have a very clearly defined value proposition. And there's so much that falls into this, right? March is marketing. April is hiring, right? And when we talk about hiring, this is hiring staff, right? If you do not have good staff, you have no scalable business, right? We all know this to be true. I say this all the time very openly. If something happened to Deborah, the next day I would be up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, right? That's how you know when you have the right staff, because if they weren't there the next day, you would feel very lost, right? Then we talk about recruiting agents, followed up by onboarding for agents and staff, performance management, coaching agents, profitability, right? How are we actually making money? I can't tell you how many people's business I've ripped apart. And at the end, I'm like, this is a charity. It's not a 529B. It is a business, right? And the next thing is creating a sellable business, right? We all want to sell our businesses one day, I hope. You didn't do all this money. I mean, you didn't do all this years of work just to give it away. Right. And then ultimately in November and December, we're going to spend a lot of time business planning, right? Every person that's here does at least $1 million in revenue. And the last time I checked, you cannot plan a 7-figure business out in 2 hours. To me, the way that people plan their businesses might be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Business planning is a real deep dive. Right? We're going to go into budgeting, into marketing, into hiring, and who we need next, and our skills and our team members, right? And real like strategic planning. And then we're going to round up the month of December with vision, right? How do we really effectively plan forward for our businesses and our lives? It's a great exercise that I really enjoy doing with people. And the nice part is with our retreats and stuff, every retreat will have a guest speaker that there's odds are you'd never find a person in such an intimate setting. So that is what we have going on. That's our roadmap. We will share this with everyone. So just some housekeeping. Is that number one, we're going to start uploading everything into our new community platform, me included. If you guys have seen our Mighty Networks, I hate the thing and we're moving to something different that we like a lot better. If you're in our 10 by 10 challenge, you've seen it. It's great. Number two, we're going to be sending out surveys of what you want us to train your agents on. Based on what people tell us, that's what we're going to do. Same thing with agents and staff. Number 3, we're going to assign everyone a peer group, right? So for example, when we meet with the peer group for our first meeting, everyone's going to be sharing their value propositions. I'll collect everyone's after the NDA goes out, and we'll start building our first month's vault of everyone's value proposition. This, you guys should be like guys, gals, you should be like a kid in a candy store seeing what's here. And if you don't have anything, it's perfect, because you could just start pulling from other people. So this month is really all about creating clarity on that. So we will get the ball rolling. This will be fun. And the amazing thing is we'll see all of you in 5 weeks in person. I know, just like many of us during COVID in this weird matrix world we live in for the last 2 years, we really missed this in-person connection. And I cannot be more excited to spend 3 days with everybody in sunny San Diego in April. So as always, I say this from my heart. I love you all. And thank you so much for taking the time to be here and trusting us to create this, what I would call like a once in a lifetime experience. And we look forward to getting started. So David, any parting words?
Go out there and make the great contribution to the world that only you can make.
All right, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Bye.